Hello, crafty friends. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to be working on a junk journal using the Storybook Friends suite from Stampin' Up, which will be available January 7th. And I'm also using Mag Journal's prompts for January 2025. And prompt number 1 is the cover. So on this video, I'm going to be making my junk journal cover. I am going to be featuring the Storybook Friends stamp set. I didn't buy everything in the suite, but I am going to go ahead and get the garden stamp set that coordinates with this. And then, of course, using the gorgeous paper, I'll be showing you pieces of that throughout. And it has 2 papers actually that are super wonderful, a 6x6 and a 12x12. And I've already been making elements for this scrapbook using these papers, and then in the 12x12 you get die cuts. It's a wonderful suite, and I thought it would be so cool to make a junk journal for it. So today I'm just going to start by taking this box, which is a paper pumpkin box. So a paper pumpkin kit is something that you can subscribe to with Stampin' Up, and I'll have a link below my video where you can check that out. And monthly you get a kit. You can pause your subscription for any month you want to and restart. It's very easy, just a couple clicks. So every month you get your kit in a box like this, and it has beautiful blue tissue. Sometimes the color changes, but mostly it's blue. And then I just cut off all, I took it apart, and then the cover is just made of the top and this inside piece right here. I want more pencil work on that. This inside piece right there, and then also the bottom of the box. So those 3 spots are what made my journal cover. Then also this, and I just used my craft knife with my take your pick tool. You can get that craft knife accessory. And then I took this paper off of the entire thing. Oh, that one came off in a nice big piece. And then when this gets stuck, you can use your spatula tool to start lifting for you. And I figured that was safer. I was using the knife, but as you can see, I have an injury currently. That is a cut. And I didn't do it with a craft knife, but I am injured from a cut, and it was actually on my candy thermometer. It was broken and I didn't realize it, and I grabbed hold of it to get something off of it, and it gave me a gnarly cut, I'll tell you what. So the reason why I have such a big bandage on here is because I don't want it to move. So anyway, that's what I did. I took apart a paper pumpkin box, which is a very fun kit to get monthly. Mostly cards, but sometimes it's gift packages as well. So this is my, I got this really cool mug from a craft fair in Oro Valley in October, and it has a kind of cold latte in it. I love it. So here's back to my cover that I've cut apart, and this measures, actually you could probably see it on here, couldn't you? Yeah. So 6.5 by 9.5, 6.5 by 9.5. And so my papers that are going to go inside it, I already have my pages done, and I think I'm only going to put this one signature. I have a rather large signature that's just scrap pieces that I can use. And I have a variety of different book pages, and this is a piece of the scrapbook paper. And then you can see there that I've already made this adorable tag. That is one of the die cuts. And then that's just a doily that I coffee stained using one of our punches for the top. So this, and then I covered the back with coffee dyed paper. And this is one of the stamps from the kit, from the stamp set. This is one of our ribbons. This is out of an old Mother Goose book. I just cut that image out of a Mother Goose book. And then this is some dyed, eco-dyed piano paper. Piano, a player piano. So then I have, this is one of the die kits, and I thought that would look good on there. I have some other tags that I've made. This, let me pull these tags out of here. So you might recognize that as, if you're watching me as a junk journaler, then you might not recognize this, but if you're watching me as a Stampin' Up, someone who uses Stampin' Up products, you might recognize that from, I think, last year's, what is it called? Celebration, yeah. So this paper is from the 6x6 paper pack that you get with this. And then this paper here that I made this envelope with is the new Concise British Flora. New Concise British Flora. So I did order that online. So I have lots of different things here, tags and things that I've made from book pages. And so those will probably go in there. Then I have a piece of sheet music, and this is actually current music that has come from the lead sheet from Worship Team. I'll be doing some stamping on these papers. This is from an Edith Holden book. I will find the video of who designed this, or who I watched, because sometimes it's hard to find who exactly designed it the first time, because a lot of different junk journals make the same type of things. So that is, I'm going to do a closure on that, and then this will be another side pocket. This is a piece of math book, because in case you didn't know, I am a math teacher. This is from a planning book, a teacher planning book that was outdated, and this is a piece from the I lightly glued that down there because I hadn't decided how I was going to use that, but I think I'm going to let me just clip that on there. I think I'm going to do that as a side tuck, and that cute little mouse is one of the die cuts from the kit. Then I have this that I made with someone's instructions. I think Camielia Crafts. I'll have the link down there. I will find. And some ledger paper, some more of the Edith Holden. This, again, if you're with Stampin' Up, you should recognize that fluttering. It's just something that I made and then never used. So I'll use that as a journaling card. This is avocado dyed paper that's pink, then avocado dyed doily. And I don't know why I have that in there. I think because I liked the way the colors went, so I could use that for a tag. This was done on my... All right. That's the back of that Edith Holden paper. So now we're just looking at the other sides of these. I have this pocket that I made and a couple of those die cuts. This tag is made from that paper. So you can see that this that paper just goes so nicely with the Edith Holden stuff. And there's another one of those three. I haven't made the tags to go in those pockets. And then this is another one that's another piece of that Concise British Flora. The back of the piano paper and back of that scrapbook paper. And then I have a whole sheet from that Concise British Flora. So that is going to be my signature. And then as I work in this journal, this will get nice and poofy. I'll do the edges, add all kinds of fun stuff. But what I'm doing today is the cover. So get these things out of the way and put this baggie of stuff back. So I have some glue here. Let's see if I can get this open. Oh, I got it. Oh. And then I have added some color to it. This is a silicone brush. And so I'm just going to start up here. I'm going to try to not pay very much attention to what pieces I am picking up. And I have toyed with I'm going to do this corner next. I have toyed with going over the edges to wrap the paper around, but I think I'm not going to do that. Let me grab a larger piece of dictionary page, make sure there's no words on here. I am going to have to go off the edge a little bit just so that I cover all of the cardboard. Missed that a little. So again, this is just stained glue that I'm putting on with like Elmer's glue. Nothing special. And I've added a little color to it. I think this particular color is Now that the cover is done, I am going to take a sip of coffee and then cut around the edges to get those excess pieces of paper off. They're mostly dry, which is why I'm using those Teflon coated whiskers. And now I've got some cream acrylic paint and I'm just painting the edges. Kind of a thick coat. I want to cover up all of that cardboard color. So I'm just going around all of the edges, and then I'm going to do the spine section completely. I'm going to completely cover that because I'm probably not going to put any paper there. I think what I've decided to do for the spine is one of those elastic bands instead of doing instead of sewing it in. That way I have some freedom to add and subtract papers or change the order of the papers. I think that'll be more fun for me. So I want a 1/2 inch or like an inch border all the way around so that I can add the paper. And so I have a lot of extra paint that I squirted out onto my silicone mat. These are wonderful mats by Stampin' Up. If you haven't got one, I strongly recommend it. It is a wonderful tool. It's small, so you can just kind of position it on your workspace, wherever you need. And now I'm just going to clean up with some baby wipes and get moving. So I've decided to use some pages from the British Concise Florida or Concise British Flora book, sorry. And I've chosen these 2 yellowish pages. And as you can see, they're quite large, so I'm going to have to cut them down. So let's bring in the handy dandy trimmer. Oh, and I have this, I had this front page, but I think I'm going to eliminate that front page and go with these 2 yellows. Or I could use that page somewhere else in the book, in the junk journal. So I'm just taking off the edges. And then after I take off, I think 3 edges, I will trim this to size, which if you remember the size of the cover is 6.5 by 9.5. So I'm going to cut these down to 5.5 and 8.5. So right there, I'm measuring at 5.5. And now we're going to measure the 8.5. And I will use those strips for different ephemera. So I'm going to put the larger flower in the back because I don't want it to be the focal point of my front cover. So that's why I switched the order. And those are ready to be glued down. Oh, wait, nope. I'm going to take that purple page off. And that paper that you saw there was from the Storybook Friends design DSP from Stampin' Up. And now I'm using pumpkin pie and a sponge dauber to ink the edges. And as you can see, I decided to lay it down and so that I would get a broader color. A broader edge to that, which I like better. So now I'm going to go back and do the first one. And this is what creating is all about. is just kind of playing and seeing what you like and changing it if you decide you like something different. Don't ever feel locked in by your choices. You can always make changes. So now I'm pulling out my stencils and masks, and I realized that the masks that I'm using today are retired, but it doesn't really matter. You don't have to have the exact same masks that I'm using or stencils. Just choose a design that goes with your theme. And I'm not particularly happy with the one that I chose to do on the covers, but no one will know that I'm not happy with it, will they? And so what I've decided to do is add some masking to these. I just think that the flowers were a little overdone. If I had it to do over again, I would probably choose something more geometric and something that would stand out a little better. But with that having been said, the masking does achieve the effect that I wanted, was just to make this add more depth to it and give it a little more grungy vintage look, which it did that. So I'm happy with that. And I forgot that I was going to put a pocket here because what I'm doing right here isn't actually going to be seen. And you notice that I wasn't very careful and I was just kind of doing splotches around. So let's get those glued down to the inside covers after cleaning up your mask, of course. So let's add some ink to the edges, the inside edges of the journal cover. Get those inside pieces as well. I love the look of the inked up edges. So I'm using some mono-adhesive liquid glue, multi-purpose glue, which you can get from Stampin' Up. It's one of my favorite glues. I do use a wide variety of glues because they all have a different purpose. And this one, paper to paper, works really, really well. It gives you a little bit of maneuvering time, but not a whole lot. It sticks really good and it lasts really long. If I'm gluing something other than paper to paper, I will usually choose a different type of glue than this one because this one takes a little bit longer to dry and I'm a little bit more impatient when I'm waiting for things other than paper to paper. Hey, so I like that. And now I realize that I could sort of add some coordination to the journal by adding some pieces of those offcuts to the journal cover. So then it's not quite so surprising when you see all this book page and this text on the front and then open it up and it's something completely different. So just tying it all together. So I am going to ink all of these and find a spot for them. Thank you so much for joining me today for my video tutorial making a junk journal cover for Junk Journal January 2025. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do so now and give me a thumbs up if this was encouraging to you, if you are feeling inspired to make a cover, or even if I've just inspired you to take out your papers and start gluing and cutting and creating. I would love to hear from you, and comments are very important and very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful new year.